Absolutely, guys. Hello, welcome to the 20th. Is that right? 20th episode?
Yeah, I think
I feel like I need to chat. I need to know this before we go in. 20th episode. Who would have thought we'd have made it all the way to the big 2-0? Me just talking for 30 minutes every day at 1 p.m. at our JLC HQ in Bristol. This is where all the business happens. This is where we do the lion's share of the business. We've got a place in Almelo in the Netherlands, which is headed up by Owen Atwood and the team there. You've got Laura, you've got Julian, you've got Jeffrey, Imrez, you've got one other person. Inez, and then Emery. Did I say Emery?
You said Emery.
I said Emery. Okay, and then we've got James that floats, and Beak as well. They both float, but that's their European office. It's strategically located just outside Germany, and we're doing quite a lot of business out there. We've been there for 2.5 years, and they're starting to really kick off as well. So everything we learned from this business, we've now put into practice. And now we're doing it over there as well. And the two companies just complement each other just so well. Obviously, the European market is a lot larger than the UK market, and as well, because of the whole Brexit issue as well, it kind of made sense strategically for us to have a base out there. A lot of the partners that we deal with here in the UK, they have outfits, bigger outfits in Germany, France. You've got the Nordics as well, which I know is not part of EU, but it kind of is kind of in that territory. Damien, how you doing? Damien, the tallest man I've ever seen. I mean, I'm 6 foot, and I don't know. He's maybe 7. That's a joke. I'm not. He's not 7. I'm not 6. So, even if where was I going with that? Yeah. So strategically, it makes sense for us to have an outfit out there. So, but this company, this little slice of paradise in Clevedon on a trading estate, Hither Green, is where we've been for the past, I'd say, 8 years. 7 years. We did have an office next door as well. So this is unit 1. We had unit 2 once upon a time. They're 6,000 square foot warehouses with integrated sales floor as well. So yeah, we've been banging the drum ever since, and I've been here for 11.5 years. And this has just been part of the journey. And this is a part that we are starting to do now, where we can have a little bit more engagement. And I know we're not getting crazy views, but I guess everyone's got to start somewhere. And I was thinking on the way to work this morning, when people start doing the whole content thing and they start their journey and everything, I bet they look back at their first videos and think, God, that was cringe. Or, God, like the numbers we were getting right there were really rookie. But everyone's got to start somewhere, and this is us starting it here. So with that being said, if you have any questions or anything like that, guys, please do answer. How many followers do we have now? Or how many?
We've got 4 people watching.
4 people watching.
2 likes. And we have a question.
All right, fire away.
Kelly says, hello, Jack.
Hello, Kelly.
What's one thing you find difficult but others find easy?
That's a good question. I feel like I can talk on the spot. Actually, I feel like I can talk on the spot. I guess, but that also comes with experience. So perhaps some people might struggle with that in terms of being comfortable. A lot of people protect their comfort zone, and rightly so. It's not nice being uncomfortable. So. But that's not to say that I'm comfortable doing it. I'm uncomfortable, but I'm used to being uncomfortable, maybe slightly more. So maybe public speaking, maybe talking in front of camera for 30 minutes, maybe that's one of my things. That's a good question. But yeah, I don't know, because there are a lot of people, and there are a lot of people in this building that can do things that I can't do. So it does have its adverse.
We've got a question in from a new person.
Oh, go on.
Someone called Daniel, yes, correct me if I pronounce that wrong. And it all looks really great. Do you have any plans to upgrade the UK warehouse as it looks near capacity?
Wow. Okay, Daniel, thanks for joining us. Right, we do actually. So we are in the process of looking at a new venue. It's tough because we are all from Bristol. A lot of the talent that we've sourced here, and they are local. A lot of us are from the surrounding areas. We've got Ricky's actually from a little bit further away. He drives about an hour to and from, but it's tough finding somewhere where we can all be under the same roof. For example, we like being close to the warehouse. We like speaking to the warehouse. We like being, arm's reach from them. So we need to find somewhere that can house all of the stock and all of us as well at a price that we can afford. So it's tough to find in the area. We are looking at some places. That's TBC. I know James and Rebecca and a few others of the business are scouting out some places, but I guess we will need to have a look at that eventually. I reckon it's probably going to happen within a year or so. So be tuned. And thanks, Dan, for the question. That was a pretty organic question. That was a pretty good one. Yeah. So we will be we will be looking at upgrading soon, because you're right, it is looking pretty full in there, which we will go in a minute and we will have a look. But guys, I wanted to. Have we got any more questions before I dive into?
No more questions at the moment.
Okay, then how many viewers?
7 viewers.
7. All right. Okay. 3 likes. And guys, look, we've got we almost got 18,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? So yeah, we've got quite a few, and I guess we do other things as well. Like we used to do we did a lot more scripted shows, a lot of edited shows. But this is a new venture. This happens every day from this office at 1 p.m. and this is a chance for you to engage. We talk about product. We talk about business. We talk about the story that is JLC, the story that's taken us to where we are today. But guys, I wanted to tell you about something here. So we know that we have mushroom coffee, and I depleted Kelly's supply, and I have since reimbursed. I have restocked, and I want to tell you, this is the new one, right? So this is mushroom coffee. This is Cordyceps. So Cordyceps mushroom, okay? Let me tell you a story about Cordyceps mushroom. It's got many health benefits. One of them being increasing oxygen capacity, the rate in which your body can absorb oxygen. In 1993, an Olympic woman from China, and bearing in mind this is ancient for Chinese, so this comes from the Chinese medicine market. It's been around for thousands of years. Cordyceps, they believe that has lots of health benefits, including, so one of them is so for fitness, increase your oxygen intake. In 1993, a woman ran was accused of using steroids, but it turned out she was actually on Cordyceps mushrooms. So they did make it illegal, and then they reintroduced it again, and now you can take Cordyceps mushrooms because it affects you in that way. So she did so well, they accused her of cheating, and they accused her of taking steroids, but in fact she was taking Cordyceps mushroom. And Cordyceps mushrooms, guys, if you're not familiar with the latest show, it's The Last of Us. It's like based on a game as well, PS4, big game. But The Last of Us is based on the Cordyceps mushroom. It preys on insects, and what it does, right, the spores affect the insects like ants or moths or tarantulas, and depending on which so a Cordyceps species will like a certain, it might like only have ants, or it might only like moths, or so there's thousands of different of species of Cordyceps, and they will attack different prey. But the Cordyceps affects the brain of the insect, and it affects it in such a way, it acts abnormal, it acts different, right? So the ant, for example, will break away from its colony, and it will have an urge to climb as high as it can up to a grass stem, bite down, and then the Cordyceps grows out of it. It is truly alien. And guys, I talked about, whenever we talked about the colossal squid yesterday, and a few maybe last week as well. So I have an interest in animals. I have an interest in things that are just cool. Like, this is just great. I mean, the Cordyceps mushroom, like, it basically consumes, and mushrooms consume their product in a different way. They absorb what they are consuming. They almost become it. They almost fuse their anatomy with the ant, for example. They become one, and they basically they control the ant, and basically the ant's prosperity is its prosperity. So it needs to make sure that ant stays alive in order for it to survive. It's a truly symbiotic relationship that the Cordyceps mushroom has with the ant, or whichever prey it is inhabiting. So that's why it's good for us. Obviously, we know that I'm not going to get affected by that, although it might, contrary to a popular belief, that doesn't affect humans as we know yet. But it affects us in a way that has health benefits. So one of them, being increasing the oxygen intake that my body does, and also my brain activity as well. Perhaps it's the reason why I'm able to talk for 30 minutes unscripted for so long. Maybe that's what it is. So yeah, but yeah, Cordyceps mushrooms, they are sick.
We've got a couple of questions.
Hit me.
So Dan, again, he says there's good things on his lunch break. What is the split? The split between private and public revenue? Do you lean on one more than the other? Okay,
good question. So where JLC kind of fit into all of this, and where we've kind of been banging the drum and been very successful in, is the public sector. So public sector, obviously, as we all know, very price driven. A lot of our products offer similar, if not better, solutions than the more expensive top tier ones. For example, you've got likes of Griffin, Otterbox. We all know those brands. But if you were to look at cases, for example, I know the Metro. I know one of like a big police force like NYPD in America. They bought 35,000 Griffin cases, and I did the math quickly, and that was like a lot of money. That was a lot. I mean, how much was? I think it's 35,000, maybe 1.3 remember $1.4 million. When you look at that in terms of what we could offer in this, how we'd have the same level of protection, we'd save the taxpayer, we'd probably save them like 500 grand. You know, not to just sort of pulling numbers, giving you an idea. So we offer the same level of protection. So that is our USP. That's what we champion and that's what we lead with. So I would say public sector. However, a lot of our resellers that we do work with obviously have a big presence. They might not have a big presence in public sector. So we do offer. So I would say the split would be I would say 75% are probably public sector. The rest I would say is private, because of course the private, they got the money, they got the deep pockets. They don't mind going for the big brands that they know and love. They don't mind going for the iPhone 16 to all of their execs. You know, they don't mind spending that kind of money. And also as well, their tendering process might not be as strict as, for example, someone in the public sector. So if a big customer, a big public sector entity, I don't know, some council or some police force, they're ordering 30, 50,000 devices, they all have to go to tender. And it's a legal process that everyone has to do. And it basically enables everyone to have a fair chance at the opportunity. That's where JLC come in. Everyone will be offering the Otterboxes, the Griffins, you know, the other things that are just easy, that doesn't require too much. We come in with a whole list of products that you can attach to that device when you're selling it. So if you were selling 30,000 iPhones, and all of a sudden you can do 30,000 cases, we can do 30,000 screens, we can do 30,000 mounts, depending on the customer. We can do 30,000 plugs, because we know plugs don't come with the devices. We can do so. All of a sudden, this one product that you were selling, and maybe you were going to do an Otterbox case or whatever. Now, all of a sudden, with that Otterbox case, you can, instead of using an Otterbox case, I'm using them as an example. There are others that are also guilty of charging quite high prices. But you can use, so all of a sudden now you can use that money that you were going to spend on that tier expensive brand, and you can do case, temper glass, plug, and still have money left over as well. And so the customer's happy, you're making more money, the customer has more options. It's just an easier thing, and that's kind of why we've had so much success, and that's probably why that split is 75%. So great question, thank you. Anything else?
There's a couple of other questions.
Hit me.
Natalie wants to know, do you have any pet peeves?
When you say pet peeves, is it stuff that annoys you?
Athena there.
Yeah, Athena's there.
It is.
So do you know what? Actually, I had this thing, right. So I used to really not like cyclists on the road, but now like I used to cycle as well. So now I can kind of respect it. So I now respect cyclists on the road. But my pet peeve with the cyclist is when they go through red lights, does my head in. Red is to stop, right? If you want to be on the road, why are you going through a red light? And if a car hits you, you know, that's it, game over. I mean, I'm more worried about, obviously worried about cyclists, but if you get hit by a car, then that's game over for you. The person that's hit you as well, they're probably going to be traumatized as well. And also, when you're indicating on a bike, right, it's like, got to be like that, okay? I like a good solid indicator, not like this, like a little, you know what I mean? That's my pet peeve. If people that like indicate like this on a bike, right? I have no idea. I can't see that. I want some commitment to your indicating. That's one of my pet peeves. How about you, Nat? Do you have any pet peeves?
We'll see.
We'll let that one cook.
Yeah. Natalie also wants to know, do you define success differently today than you did when you were younger?
Oh wow. Yeah. Definitely. I'm obviously when I was younger, success was like flashy cars and, you know, all the rest of it, all the things that you purchase, the things that you walk in a shop to buy, right? So I heard this great thing the other day. It was, you're not going to care about, in 10 years time, you will not care about the things you buy in a mall. Anything you buy in a supermarket or a shop. 10 years time, those products, those things that you purchase will not matter. So yeah, I think now I view success differently. For me now, success is doing what you love, doing what you enjoy, doing what you're good at. Doing what you're good at is success. In my opinion, people might have other. I think we confuse success with you know, having all the bells and whistles all to go with it as well. Don't get me wrong; they are a byproduct of that success. But you've got to love what you do, and I think if you love what you do and enjoy it and you're good at it, you're successful. And if you've got a loving family as well, you're successful. If you've got people that love you and people that surround you and the people that you can talk to, that's being successful. So yeah, you can be successful in loads of different things, not just business. You can be successful in life and having a rich amount of company and friendships and loved ones. So yeah, that's success. Any other questions?
We have another question from Kelly.
Great, love him.
Who was your biggest role model growing up?
Biggest role model growing up? Oh my God. Biggest role model. Do you know what? I really liked Russell Brand. I actually he's probably not the best one as I was growing up because he was quite a deviant and was a bit, but I quite liked that. He was like reckless. He was a bit like didn't care. He had a chat about him. Russell Brand, I really like looked up to. I remember once I met him at Cabot Circus, not called that. No, sorry, Colston Hall. It's not called that now. It's called something else, but it's in Bristol. And I met him, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, Russell. And I was like, Russell, man, like I loved his stuff. And I read his book when I was traveling around Thailand, and I read him. I told him, I said, man, I read your book. My Bookie Wookie, I think it's one of the ones. And he's like, it literally inspired me. And he said, like, oh, I hope it didn't inspire you too much. There's a lot of naughty stuff in there. And I was like, kind of did, but I enjoyed it. And he's like, my man. And it was just a great thing. I didn't take a photo with him just because I just wanted to chat to him. He just had that kind of aura. So as I was growing up, probably Russell Brand, which is like a weird one. A lot of people have different, I'm sure there were probably more, but yeah, it's a good question though. Thought provoking. Bread for thought. Any more questions?
We have loads of questions today.
Oh, wicked.
Damien wants to know, are you going to try and get tickets to the Oasis reunion?
Good question. So I actually got asked this by my girlfriend. She said, do you want to go? I said no, because I never really I don't know, I never rated them. But obviously, like when the songs come on, it's always good to know. And it might be good for nostalgic reasons. I'd probably worth at least investigating. How much? I don't know how much tickets are going to be. We don't know. I reckon that's a good question, Damien. How much do you reckon those tickets are going to be? I reckon they're going to be like, whoa. Hopefully they're like affordable, but like I reckon maybe 300 quid, maybe. I don't know. It's probably a good.
Yeah, I've heard a rumor it's around the 300.
Is it?
I don't know though. Who knows?
Three, yeah. I mean, I'd probably go. Damien, how about you? Would you go? Are you going to go? We should all go. Yeah, just for me, I just felt like I like they've had just this constant beef, haven't they? The Gallaghers, the brothers, you know, they constantly just don't like each other. And I thought maybe this whole time it was all just an act and all just a stage for this very comeback. Because can you imagine, like, what a game plan? Obviously, create bangers like Wonderwall, like arguably like one of the most sung songs in the pub. You know, it's very obviously. I'm sure there are more Oasis songs, but I'm not, like as I said, I'm not like an avid fan. But I just obviously know the Wonderwall, and so does everyone. But create bangers, create like legacy, never play again, and then all of a sudden, like 20 years later or however long it's been, come back and be like, wow. It'd be like that. It'd be like who else did that? Daft Punk. When Daft Punk played it, I think it was Burning Man or one of the big ones in America, or maybe Burning Man but anyway, they played and it was like the epic set. No one's ever used the LCD screens to the way that they did, and then they never played again. And it was like it left us wanting more, but it created a legacy. So yeah, maybe there's a bit of that going on.
Got another question from Dan.
Yeah.
Do you track internally which sectors you serve? For example, do you serve tier 1 construction companies less than a regional tech companies, kind of thing?
Okay. Do we track? In short, we are beginning. We have got a system that does do that. I guess we could be looking at more in terms of strategically. I think we could be doing definitely a bit more in that. But because we only deal with resellers, it's hard for us to track. We have to use that information that the customer provides us to find that. And I think it's definitely something we could be growing on. And as well, when we work with opportunities, when we got deal registration, obviously we know the end user as well. So I guess we could be compiling that data. Data is something I think that we have yet to fully harness and utilize. I think there are a lot of systems. And I know Europe, our friends over in Europe and Netherlands, Owen and Laura and those guys, they are looking at getting systems in to really harness that data. And yeah, really. All right, Jamie. And yeah, so we will be doing it. But yeah, it's definitely a good question, Dan. Thank you, mate. That's really, really good.
Damien, just going back on the Oasis reunion, he's heard 302. So he thinks the scouts might try and push them to double that. So
there's going to be AIs and bots all ready to buy up every ticket. I don't know what they do to stop that resale. That resale is toxic. That resale pushes everything up the wrong way. It's probably everything that's wrong with the music industry, the buying and the selling. But of course, if you can do it, then why not? If I can go out and buy 4 or 5 tickets and resell for an extra, why not? If you've created something that allows people to do that, you can't blame them to then do it. So Yeah, I think there's ultimately I think there's an issue surrounding that. They probably will push them up. We all know they do. But I don't know how they do it because Glastonbury and that you can't resell tickets for Glastonbury. So they managed to do it. So they managed to blockchain their resale. So you can't just buy and you can't resell. But yeah, there's a whole other issue around that. But yeah, we'll see. Should we go into?
Yeah, go have a look.
Do we have more questions there?
Well, Damien just said he thinks it should be 4 tickets per person. That should be the limit.
Yeah, fair enough. 4 tickets per person sounds fair. No worries. Yeah, 4 tickets per person sounds fair. And then I guess if you can't go, you have to try and sell them, right? I mean, if you can't get, or they should be able to offer a refund and then sell them again at the normal price. Yeah, loads of these third-party ticket resellers have come out the woodwork, and their after service is awful. Yeah, I've had really bad issues with third-party ticket providers. So it's it's a tricky one. But maybe the 4 limited to 4 is probably a good shout. I mean, it's going to be the website's going to crash, isn't it? It's going to be busy. But anyway, right. Let's talk some products. JLC products. Right. So if you've got, how many views do you have?
We've got 10 viewers.
10. All right. 10 guys. If you're just joining us, this happens every day 1 p.m. This is JLC TV Live. This is in our warehouse. We're talking JLC products. We're talking Oasis. We're talking Cordyceps mushrooms. We're talking anything really. Any questions that you want to talk about, we can try and dive into, because I'm just here. I'm the host, and that's what we do for 30 minutes. So we're going to talk about JLC product now. Right, so here's where we stand, okay? So JLC, we kind of distribute our own product. It's all JLC branded. That gives you the JLC promise that should anything go wrong with that product, we will return it within, I don't know. So you got electric. We give a 3-year warranty on electric products. On our cases, it's lifetime. So yeah, if ever that product breaks due to a fault, not by personal making, but if it's a defective issue, we'll just replace it for you. So yeah, that's kind of what that JLC brand does as well. And also as well, it tells you that we completely control our supply chain. We go directly to manufacturer, directly to resale, and then to end user. So we manage it, we control it, and we all do it here, as you can see from this expanding warehouse, as Dan notified. We are full to the brim, and we are looking to move. But until then, we must continue, and the show must go on. So with that, we've got headsets. Okay, so we do a lot of headsets. We know that during the pandemic, there was a big demand, as we all know, but we managed to retain some of that market because customers, right? They couldn't get the Logitechs, they couldn't get the Jabras, they couldn't get the Microsofts, they couldn't get all of these headsets that dominate the market. They couldn't. So they had to look elsewhere, and elsewhere walked in JLC. We offered our options. And then what happened was, turns out they like our product as well. And they actually prefer it over some of the main ones, which they still buy, and they still do. So thank you very much. And it's just an example of our JLC product is a lot less, so it's a lot more price conscious, and also as well, sometimes the solutions are often better, because people offer they buy the Jabra, they buy the EPOS, they're good headsets, not get me wrong, they're very good, very pricey. So yeah, this is a solution that is more cost effective and offers similar, if not more, options than a like-for-like comparison. I'm using like-for-like comparison as an example because I know those headsets, the EPOS and the Jabras, they've got some good functions. I'm not throwing shade on them, but this is where we've excelled, and this is where we've done a lot of the business. We get some funky products come along every now and again, and this is one of them. This is basically they're quite popular. They've not really caught on too much yet. I know that there is a market for them, but these headsets, right? These headsets, they don't go into your ear. They go into the behind. So it's like the bone bit, and you can still hear it. It's like here behind the ear, it still works. So you can still hear it. Basically, it allows the decibels to be, so it kind of protects your ear. Also as well, doesn't encumber you, so you can still listen to everything around you. And this is a Bluetooth version of that as well. So it's a headphone. And we do sell quite a few of these, but again, it's still an up and coming. I think there's still a lot more technology to be done behind this product, but yeah, certainly we work with this brand and then we sell those as well. Any other questions?
Kelly would like to know, what's your top selling product?
Top selling product. Wow, it's got to be. Look, we've been doing cases. Really, we've been doing cases, tempered glass screens. That's kind of that's our cornerstone product. I would say it's got to be the iPhone SE clear gel. I expect, just because the iPhone SE, as we know, has remained the same size for since the beginning, since the iPhone 5 came out. So it's retained the same size, and iPhone SE as well. It's a cost-effective device by design by Apple. So it is widely used in public sector and private sector. And our clear gel was one of our most cost-effective cases. So I would probably say it's a clear gel, but without looking at it, I probably can tell you, we do get some monster orders of some other things as well, which might push it out of the way. We definitely sell a hell of a lot of these as well. This is our 20-watt fast charging VIA plug. We know devices don't come with plugs, so naturally this is an easy add-on and a very cost-effective solution as well. 3-year warranty. We sell absolutely thousands of these. We cannot buy them in enough, so we do quite a lot of those as well. So it's got to be that one or the clear gel case, I would say. Kelly, good question. Any more questions?
Yeah, Dan, again, he would like to know, does the stuff you sell in bulk quantities come branded or non-branded?
Okay.
And by non-branded, you mean it doesn't show JLC on the product?
Got it. So a lot of the stuff we will brand JLC. Again, it's because of what I said previously. When you've got something branded JLC, of course, it's brand awareness for us, but also as well gives you that reassurance that you get that JLC aftercare as well and that JLC care. Either that JLC care during the product's life cycle, whether it's an electrical device or two-dimensional case product, you'll be there. So we'll be there regardless of what happens. So that's why we have the JLC brand on there. It kind of gives you that reassurance that should anything go wrong with the product during the time that you have it, we will sort it out for you, no problem as well. I'm not saying that if it's not branded JLC, we won't help you. Of course, we will help you. Some customers don't want branded on there at all. So we have done that. We can do it because, like I said, we own manufacturing. It's an easy conversation for us to have. And if I was a vendor or someone like that, if I was a distributor distributing someone else's vendor, that question would be very tough to have. That would probably take a few days. That might even take a week because then I have to speak to the vendor. The vendor's going to go, well, we want all of our stuff branded, so no. And then you'll push back. He'll have to go higher. They'll have to go to manufacturing. And by the time that's happened, the tender's gone. Everyone's lost. No one wins. So JLC, we own the manufacturing. We can answer that question straight away. I can tell you straight away, not a problem. We can unbrand it for you or we can brand it for you. Either way, I can make those decisions because we own the entire chain. So yeah, we manage the entire chain. We've got full autonomy over it, which allows us to be so quick. And that's one of our USPs. So yeah, that is a good question. Dan, these are great questions.
They are really great questions.
What is it, Dan? Is it just Dan, or is it Dan? Is it?
I'm not 100% sure how we pronounce.
Is it
name.
Right? Okay, fine. Well, Dan, thanks for joining us and thanks for these questions, mate. They're really thought-provoking stuff, and I really appreciate it as well because yeah, like I said, this is a new venture for us, and we're just seeing if it takes. How are we doing on time?
We're at 28 minutes.
Cool. All right, fine. What else do we have? Right, wavelength. Any more questions before I dive into this?
No more at the moment, no.
Fine. Guys, thanks so much for the questions as well. And we're just going over some products. But this is one of our wavelength products. So again, wavelength is a vendor that we work with. So we do work with vendors. We don't just distribute JLC. We do work with vendors. We like to deal with vendors that share our mission, looking to disrupt, looking to impact the market into a positive way, looking to offer solutions, more solutions than it's like for like comparison that's tiering, that's owning the market. And Wavelink is one of those. Wavelink works well with DisplayLink as well. It's a docking station enabling your laptop to work with 1, 2, 3 monitors. You've also got the Ethernet. You've got legacy VGA, HDMI, all of these USB-A ports that are 3.2 or 3.1. So basically, it's just they're a great product. Also a byproduct of the pandemic as well. Everyone was working from home and everyone wanted 2 screens. So again, the likes of Lenovo, the likes of Dell, the likes of HP, these big guys that have been sat on the top, they couldn't deal with the demand. The demand was too high, and if they could, they would sell to the highest buyer. So we came along, JLC, little JLC. We thought, let's team up with Wavelength. Let's team up with a few brands that want this is the time to shine, and we've absolutely shown. And what we did now, we started selling so many that now it's one of our main lines. And the guys that used to buy Lenovo and the guys that used to buy Dell and the guys that used to pay HP and pay eye-watering prices for it, have got a taste for our pricing, and now they buy loads. So unfortunately, guys, that's the way it goes. And it was the break that we needed, and it's the push that we needed as well. So it was great. It was a good chance, and we excelled. So yeah, great product.
Got one last question from Dan before he has to head back to work.
Hit me, Dan.
Does shipping time, when it's coming from the Middle East, does it add much time on to, when you place an order? And have you ever had to cancel an order because of this?
Oh, right. Okay. Yes, we've had to cancel. I mean, it's hard, right? Once the wheels are in motion, once we've ordered from our supplier in China, right, it normally takes between 7 to 10 days. That's the time that That's the time. That's the time that we say. That is 7 to 10 business days. That gives us hello. We that is the time. That is the time that we give ourselves in order to over deliver. Over deliver by meaning is to send it to you a lot quicker than that 7 to 10 days. 7 to 10 days gives us like a nice window of opportunity coming through. Muscles. Look at that. Straight back. Shoulders back. You dropped it. Look at him all the way down there. Fair play. Yeah, so 7 to 10 days, that's normally what it is. But again, we do try and stock everything here in the UK, but for bigger orders, of course, we need to order in. Oh, wow. I saw that flex. Yeah, his guns put me off. I didn't realize I had 2 tickets to the gun show up in here. Yeah, so yeah, ordering from China can be a little bit of a tricky one, but we've been doing it for 14 years, 14 or maybe even 15 years now, actually. So we know the score. We order all the time. We have products coming on LCL. We have products coming via the air. We have a fully 360. We have a train. We have a well-oiled machine here. So it is, and we've got a team here that are absolutely excellent and that we can fulfill very quickly. So we can always find solutions. If that answered your question.
I think that's answered it.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
Okay, great. All right. I think we should probably call it there. You know.
Yeah, but 31 minutes.
And how many viewers are we finishing on?
6 viewers and 7 likes.
All right. Now, hey, Wes, that's good. That's great numbers. Guys, thank you so much for sticking around. This has been JLC TV Live. I'm your host, Jack Walsh, and I will see you tomorrow. Oh, and also, actually, shout out. I just had before this, I got a very good order. It's been working for 2 years in the making. I just want to thank you, the guy that gave it to me. It's been epic, mate. Thank you so much. We've been 2 years in the making. 2 years in the making with this particular deal, and it's finally come in. So I just want to say thank you for that. It's always a pleasure. So thank you so much.